This is a test donation for $.
Here we go, put this miserable song on repeat. Cause you seem to forget how much you are hurting me. Do what's right, you say you will, but then you don't. You just don't. You don't care, cause you don't take me seriously. What's there to repair if you don't want to talk to me? You should know your time is up, I'm out, I'm done. So I'm putting you on a lifetime sentence, and you'll no longer feel my presence. So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better. You're on a lifetime sentence, and you'll know. So now you never feel my presence. So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better. So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better.
Shout out to the CIA. What up?
No, that's right. Your words don't mean a thing to me. Sleepless nights, your love has left us incomplete. Thinking that your promises will fit so loud. Oh, that's right. So I put you on a lifetime sentence.
City and state. City and state.
So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better. You're on a lifetime sentence, so now you never feel my presence. So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better. Cause I don't.
City and state, people. Hit me up with your city and state in the chat room.
So you thought I would let this live. So I put you on a lifetime sentence, and now you never feel my presence. So I thought I would let this live.
This is a test donation for $.
On a lifetime sentence, so now you never feel my presence. Never feel. So I thought I would let this live. Thought you knew me so much better.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's get into this whole stream. Let's see how we want to do this. Okay. Welcome, 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 and welcome. I don't know how long you've been gone. If you haven't, if you ain't seen a brother in a while. But we're about to get into the live stream. Let me adjust this volume. Let's see what this sounds like. Hold on. still a little bit loud. All right. All right, maybe that'll do it. Okay. So you see the title of the stream. Let me go ahead and cut the music off. Let's just get into it. Go ahead and cut the music off. Let's get into it. Let's switch all this stuff out. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. For those of you who haven't heard that I'm in the process of getting my relocate on. Let me turn this fan on too. You have to deal with it. I'm not going to sweat to death. I'm not going to sweat to death in this studio. So, there we go. Let's do that. That's the live stream. That's the backup. That's the video. Pop that out. So we're going to pop the chat out and have that to the side over here. All right. If you are not on my Instagram, you are missing out on a ton of stuff. I go live on Instagram almost every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day. So if you're not on my Instagram, what the hell are you waiting for? Go join me on Instagram. And here's my Instagram. My IG is this. IG is at Kevin R. Samuels. All right. Number 1, join me on Instagram. Number 2, if you're not a member of the channel, there's a button on the channel that says join. That join feature is going to become even more critical over the next several months because now there is something called members only chat. Members only chat will be, you see where Sino Clark is? People highlighted in green. I'm going to have a members only chat. If you join the channel, your chat is separate from the rest of the chat. I will answer questions from the members only chat quickly. So I'm putting you up on game. First off, you see Sino has he's highlighted in green. He's got a badge. You can get different badge levels. There are all kind of things associated with this. Yeah, members only chat is going to be crazy to the point to where this is what's going to happen. Do not be surprised if you start seeing this on channels where they cut off the live chat and only have the members chat. That keeps all of the trolls and spam and bullshit out of it. I love that feature. I love it, love it, love it. Just a second, I need to grab something real quick. Grown damn man stuff. Appreciate all my CIA and all my FBI folks. You guys make it possible and the payoff is coming. If you have been on my Instagram, if you were on my Instagram, you've heard me talk about a couple of channel announcements. Let's get channel announcements so we can get up to speed. Since I've been living in Oklahoma, I have not been able to do several parts of my business the way I wanted to do them. I didn't have an opportunity to really have the quote unquote shopping safaris. I mean, why am I gonna have somebody come in Oklahoma City to go shop at Macy's and Dillard's? Come on, man. But I always said when I ever move back to a big city, it's gonna be on. What are some of the things that are going to be coming up? One, ladies, I'm going to start back styling women, but I'm only going to style FBI women. I am going to start back styling women, but only FBI women. Because my goal is to help men become CIA, women become FBI. And if I can do something and put them in the same room together, let them connect, meet, network, and have what happens. I want to see some couples on this mug. I want to see some progress. I want to see men doing business together, men and women connecting, and letting life take its course. I would love to see us on trips, whether we're going skiing, whether we're going to go on a cruise. Yeah. Don't wait for the world to make what you want it, make it. And to that effect, I said I'm going to start styling women. But here's what I'm excited to announce. Project Upgrade. Project Upgrade is where I select somebody from the YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook world. I select somebody like, give me a name. Let's see, let me pick a name at random, pick a name at random. I pick somebody like Lee Scott. Is Lee Scott Lee is not a gender specific name, so let me see. I pick somebody like Lee Scott. Lee Scott wins. Lee Scott's in Seattle, and I fly Lee Scott in from Seattle to my new hometown of Atlanta. And then you watch me get Lee Scott from the airport. We sit down in the office, and I go and I do the interview of Lee, talk a little bit about it. Then I show Lee in some of his outfits before, and then I take Lee out into the world, and we do a shopping safari. I pick out things for Lee that are going to make Lee look incredible in his style, personality, and you guys see it before and after. That's Project Upgrade. I've also made this announcement that outside of all the other people on YouTube who are in style, I'm the only image consultant. And unlike most people, I do talk about higher end and luxury products. So just know that I'm going to double down in that because my target audience isn't high schoolers. It's not 14-year-olds. An image consultant deals with grown damn people. So you can see me take a direction in this channel where it's going to be mid-market, higher end, and luxury goods. Now I'm going to spend 80% of my time in the mid-market. Well, 60 to 70% of my time in the mid-market. But 20 to 40% is going to be in upper market and luxury. Case in point, let's talk about fragrances. How about I'll be talking about fragrances and I'll say something like Bleu de Chanel or the new Dior Sauvage Parfum. That's a designer fragrance. But then I'll also be talking about things from, let's take a niche house, something from La Lobo or Killian. Then we're going to tip on up into to niche stuff, to luxury stuff like from Roja Dove, House of Matriarch, Insar Oud. Now, it'll be something for everybody, but it's not going to be stuff that you can get at Target. You got to know where you fit, folks. And all of this goes in line with leadership traits of an executive mindset, growth and gain in a big city. A lot of the reason I look at the way I look at the world is because right after college, I went into white collar corporate America. I spent 25 years in white collar corporate America. And we're going to get into the difference that makes in understanding how this world really works and how business is done, whether or not you're an entrepreneur or whether or not you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or you just coming out of college, you know, the blue collar versus white collar thing. There's a difference in how these worlds move, and we're going to talk about it. So Project Upgrade is coming, right? And it'll be broken down into seasons. Season 1 will either be 6 or 8 episodes long. You already see the MIT field trips. We've had the Atlanta one. Dallas one's coming up November 2nd and 3rd. The women's field trip is coming up the first week of December. That's right. The FBI field trip is coming out the first week of December, and it will be in Atlanta. Power, Pamper, and Privilege. That's right. Hey, I just came up with that. We're going to be on some power stuff. We're going to be on some pamper stuff. And we're going on some privilege stuff. That's right. I want to see some women come out of there and be showing enough FBI so I can be like, oh, got the FBI of the week. You guys remember the Jet Beauty of the week? I would love to start doing that with women across the country. The FBI Beauty of the week. Oh, here's Cassandra. Cassandra's from Portland. Cassandra's 25 years old. She works in advertising and marketing. She loves this, and she's certified FBI. Just like you go to the Mercedes dealership or the BMW dealership, certifying somebody FBI puts a lot of people's minds at ease because we got a standard there. Check for that FBI label on the back. Oh, she's FBI. All right, that means she's red pill approved. Good stuff. So all this stuff is going to happen because I'm moving to Atlanta. I have a bigger market. Men are going to get improved levels. Women are going to come into the picture. I mean, you got to understand it. Women are going to come. I love women. Come on. And then if you're in the Atlanta area and you're a photographer or videographer, we need to talk. If you're in the Atlanta scene and you're a model, if you're a female model, we need to talk. If you're a male model, we need to talk. If you're in entertainment, music, film, acting, we need to talk because Insecure started, the HBO TV show Insecure started as a YouTube series. Oh yeah. I want to see a men's only series. I want to see a series about men. I'm not going to write it, but I would love to be involved in that process. See, this is how business gets done. Listen to stuff I just talked about. I didn't come out of high school knowing that. When I put a video up on my Patreon channel that says it's business, I learned how to think like an executive over the course of my career. My career was my career started out in business to business sales, telemarketing. Shout out John Phillips. What's going on? See if that pops up. So this is how stuff gets done. This is how stuff gets done, guys. And I would be remiss, I'd be a fool to sit back and not take advantage of everything Atlanta has. Atlanta has an international airport. It has tremendous access. It has a thriving business community. There are a tremendous amount of successful people in Atlanta. There's a ton of successful women in Atlanta. There's a thriving movie industry, thriving music industry. So yeah, gonna do it. The question is, how fast can we get it done? Let's talk about it. One of the things that when I came to YouTube, my purpose for coming to YouTube was simple: to grow my business. That was it. I didn't come to YouTube to make friends. I didn't come to YouTube to be entertained. I came to YouTube to grow my business. That's my sole underlining purpose of being on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I mean, think about it. If I'm at my age, in my development, why would I be on YouTube for entertainment? My life is entertaining enough. So it's business. YouTube, while we can use it for many different things, YouTube, if YouTube were a standalone company, it will be worth more than Comcast. It will be worth more than Disney. It will be worth more than Netflix. Morgan Stanley evaluated YouTube as $162 billion, basically meaning it's the most valuable media property in the world. How are we using that? How are we using that? Well, I'm going to tell you how I'm using it. I'm using it with an executive mindset. And see, here's something that we don't talk about enough, in my opinion. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just not interesting or just because not enough men. All the people talk about pick me, pick me. The people who are going to get picked are going to be people who support the channel, that kind of stuff. You're going to get picked. I'm going to pick from Patreons and contributors to the channel. That's how it works. And you're going to understand why. You support, you benefit those who benefit you. See, so many of us, when you get out of high school, what happens when you get out of high school? If you didn't go to college and go to business school, what did you do? Did you go to the military or did you go to the work world? I'm not saying any is better or worse. I'm just saying it is different. When I went to college, it was preparation to go work in corporate America. Case in point. Case in point. How many men in the chat room know what a company organizational chart is? If you know what a company organizational chart is, put a 1 in the chat room. And if you know where your company, and if you know your company's organizational chart, put a 2 in the chat room. You know what an org chart looks like, and then that's number 1. But number 2, you know what your company looks like. Let me pull one up. Company organizational chart. See, the entire thing about an executive mindset comes from understanding something straight away. That there's an entire language that goes with this. This is not something that you learn in high school. Let me share my screen real quick. Let me show you what an org chart looks like. This is what an organizational chart looks like. Oh, that's too small. Shit. All right. Let's take this one. Company A. At the top, you have a board of directors. Then you have a president or a CFO. You have a general manager. You have a general office. Then you have all these things that break down into it. Here are the different divisions: administration center, R&D, production, finance, quality control. Under administration, you have HR and HR logistics. Under R&D, you have design development and samples. In production, you have manufacturing, packaging, industry, engineering, development. Finance, you have accounting, audit, and cashier. Then you have quality control. That is one example. That is one example. And understand something. Every organization has an organizational chart. Here's another one. The board is up here. Here's the audit committee, the CSR committee, the remunerations and nominating committee, the president and CFO. Who reports to the president? The president and CEO report to the board of directors. The chief of staff reports to the CEO. Here are the general managers. Here are the directors. Here are other general managers. Organizational charts can be vast. And most people, if you're not in corporate America, here it is, a vertical organizational chart. CEO, VPs, and then this kind of stuff. How many people is the first time you've seen something like this? How many people is this the first time you've seen something like this? You know what? Let me do this. God, there are too many windows open. If it's the first time you've seen this, don't worry about it. I mean, don't let that, throw you off. But a lot of times when we're talking about stuff, it's because we're coming from different places doing different things. All right. Close some of these windows down, man. I got too many windows open. All right. So, this is where I started my career. I started at the bottom in sales and marketing. There was the inside sales, outside sales. Then you went up to outside sales, broken into 3 divisions: account executive, senior account executive, manager. Then you can move up to director, this, that, or national accounts. All of these things are different. And in order to be a leader, in order to build an organization, you're going to have to start thinking like an executive. Because when you're an executive, you got a lot of stuff to manage. It's not just you. You're responsible for planning out the entire company. The entire company. So many people's livelihood is dependent upon you making sound decisions. And I was talking about this last night when I was in the storm. I mean, realistically, a lot of guys that I've seen around on YouTube, we have jobs. You got a job at a place. You don't have a career. You don't have a profession. I need you guys in the chat room to split it up. How many have a career? If you have, before you answer, I want everybody to split up. And if you have a career or a profession, put a 5 in the chat room. If you have a job, put a 1 in the chat room. And again, this is not to say who's better or worse, or what's better or worse. Just need to know where we're coming from. How many people are 5s? And the title that you have is not one that you made up. It's a title that was actually given to you. Okay, so we got 5, 5, 5, 1, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 retired. Okay, so we're starting to see a lot of all right, so understand something, guys. In the corporate game, in the corporate world, it is different. And the thing is, I came to the corporate world from the job world. A job world is a place where you just go fill out an application, whether in person or online. The hiring and firing decisions are made there locally, and you can work there. There's no career path. There's no real plan for you. You're just a plug and play. Plug and play. In order to move up in the world, in order to get into these worlds, I come from a blue collar family. No one in my family was anywhere near corporate America. It was all blue collar, factory, military. And I went to college. I was the first person to go to college. So understand something. Even with the way the world has changed right now, we're blending all these different worlds. Gone are the factory jobs, the union jobs, and all that stuff. And a lot of the corporate jobs are kind of going away. We're getting people going into business. We're getting people who are actually becoming contractors, who are pretty much becoming small business owners. And in order to reach your maximum growth potential, you got to start understanding why all the five. You got to start understanding what it is, what it is you want, because the game is different. All right. When I went into corporate America, I'll be honest, there was nobody to teach me the game. I mean, there were a couple of guys that kind of put me up on a little information, but I had to learn it on my own. Nobody taught me. I didn't have a, I didn't have a father who was in the business or an uncle or anything else like that. So guys, this is how we're going to have to start passing on information so other guys can learn how to get into these worlds and play and move in these worlds. First, there's a mindset that comes along with being an executive. Whether you're an executive is somebody above. See, let me define executive. You have to be above a regional manager to be an executive. So you can have think about how the non-commissioned officers versus commissioned officers. The executive level starts at least at director. Okay. You say level 5, a business owner. That's different. See, a business owner, you could be a business owner as a landscaper, as an electrician, as a plumber, and that is far different than having to work inside an organization. See, and what we're going to talk about is a lot of the skills, a lot of the soft skills that are required to move up and through the organization, which all kind of touch on one another, and why some people become successful and some people don't. Let me tell you something. How successful you are and how successful you are out there in corporate America, it does not have a damn thing. It has very little to do with how smart you are or anything like that. It has almost everything to do with who likes you and your connections. See, a veteran student setting up your own business, that's completely different tack. See, the military has an organizational structure. The military, while it has an organizational structure, it's not the same as corporate America because the entry is different. Everybody can't get a job at Procter and Gamble. Everybody can't get a job at let me pull up some companies. Let's do that. Let's do this. Fortune 100 companies. Everybody can't get in these places. How many of you guys actually think you could get a job at Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan Chase, Mobil, Johnson & Johnson, Bank of America? Okay, let's do that one again. See, when we start breaking it down, we really have to start understanding that you can be a business owner and not even touch any of the stuff that we're talking about. Southwest Airlines, General Mills, Bain & Company, McKinsey & Company, Boston Consulting, Continental Airlines, Procter & Gamble, Juniper Networks, Northwest Mutual, Kraft, National Instruments, Google, NetApp, Goldman Sachs, FactSet, Medtronic, Public, Chevron, Apple, FedEx, Edward Jones, Qualcomm, Career Builder, Novell, Schlumberger, Adobe, Booz Allen Hamilton, Skytrade, Sherwin-Williams, EMC, GlaxoSmithKline, Caterpillar, Turner Broadcasting, Paychex, Kaiser Permanente, Travelers, Rackspace, Intel, Cintas, SAP America, Intuit, Best Buy, Harris, Prudential, Whole Foods, Pricewaterhouse. Do you know anybody that works for any of those organizations in your family? Do you know anybody that works for those organizations in your own family at the corporate level? See, Southwest Airlines, you may know flight attendant or maybe a pilot, but do you know anybody who works in, logistics? All right, see, so what we're already talking about is the differentiation. So let's get into it. What are some things that are going to require to have a mindset to function inside of these organizations to move up that you could use in those organizations, or you can use it to run your own business? See, an executive thinks long-term. He doesn't think short-term. One of the things I talk about on my channel is I never beef. Why? Because I have an executive mindset. Why? Because I'm here for business. I'm not here for drama. And what happens when you beef? You cut off potential. You cut off possibilities. I said this on Instagram the other day. I'm bread. Executives are bread. You got peanut butter. You got jelly. I'm bread. You can make a peanut butter sandwich. You can make a jelly sandwich. You can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If peanut butter and jelly got a problem, it don't matter to me. I'm bread either way it goes. If peanut butter fall out with jelly, I still sell my bread. I still sell my bread. If peanut butter is like, oh man, well, we only deal with bread that only sells to peanut butter. All right. There are other peanut butter out there. I'm gonna be bread. Oh, you got bologna? You got cheese. You can make a bologna sandwich. You can make a cheese sandwich. Oh, you got butter? You can make a grilled cheese sandwich. You got egg? You can make an egg sandwich. You got hot dogs? You can put hot dog. You got lunch meat? You can make a deli sandwich. You got mustard? You got mayonnaise? Okay. Mustard, mayonnaise, bologna, ham, turkey, roast beef, lettuce, tomato, pickle, peanut butter, jelly, syrup. I'm bread. See, when you think like an executive, you think like bread because you're in it to sell your bread. You're in it to make your bread be as valuable as possible. The better your bread does, the better the people who work in your company and live and breathe off the decisions you make. See, what happened when peanut butter and jelly actually start working together? They could sell 3 times as much versus peanut butter or jelly only. How many of you guys think bread? See, I came up in corporate sales. Now, I'm an opinionated person. I'm an aggressive person. But guess what? When my job as a salesperson is to build a rapport with somebody and get them to sign on the line, which is dotted, it ain't to be right. It's to get the deal. It's to get the deal. It's to get the deal and beat my competition and put as much money in my pocket as possible. See, when you think like an executive, you have to lean more amoral and pragmatic. Shout out to BGS Ipmore. I say this, write this down. I say, show me where your feelings get involved in the process, and I'll show you the cap on your possibilities. Show me where your feelings get involved in a process, and I'll show you the cap on your possibilities. See, one thing I learned in corporate America is you look at the director level, the VP level, the executive VP level, the C level. The C level means chief this, chief that, chief this. Those people may have had they may have had be a devout Catholic, a devout Jew, a devout Muslim, or whatever, but decisions they made in their company was based solely on the best outcome for the company according to the numbers, not according to their personal beliefs. You want to be a devout Catholic? It better not interfere with the bottom line. Executives. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Okay, I'm gonna address something that Jedi Max said. His problem, he's passionate about work, short patience. Short patience will keep you low level. That is why you don't see many young men who are executives, because they don't have the patience. Something that comes with maturing as a man should be patience. You don't punch down, you don't argue down. See, you know what you do as an executive? You master the art of neutrality. If I'm selling bread and a controversy comes up, you learn the art of saying something without saying anything. So now see, in the barbershop, they'd say, you ain't keeping it real. Fuck keeping it real. Real is something you do in your personal life. This is business. I love that Dave Chappelle did the skit, When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong. He talked about a guy who was in corporate America going up the track, and he decided to keep it real and ended up at the damn gas station. Patience. See, you have to have patience for the long game, because you have to have a long game written down. How many of you people who have small businesses, you actually have a written business plan? A written business plan that wasn't written by you. Or even if it was written by you, it was reviewed and certified by somebody else. How many of you have a written business plan? You're not just doing some shit, you got a written business plan. And then on top of that, you got a written marketing plan. See, show me a guy who does not have a plan, and I'll show you a person that's just doing some shit. That's why we can be guided by our emotions and do things by our feelings, because we don't have a plan. I came to YouTube with a plan. I came to Facebook with a plan. I came to Instagram with a plan. I say I'm building an airplane while I'm flying it, but there's a plan. I learned planning in corporate America because you had to plan out a sales funnel. You had to plan out your month, your week, your day, because at the end of the day, at the end of the month, the number was all that mattered. Fuck your feelings. They wanted performance. You will perform or you will be gone. And the higher up you go, the longer you got to plan. The more responsibility you have. See, some people say they want to be a boss. Do you? All you asking for is more smoke, more stress. Planning. So let's get to it. How many people is this new information to, or is this a world you don't exist in? Because I'm gonna tell you this, I didn't exist in this world either. I didn't hear about it. I didn't know about it. I found out about it in college. I was completely blind to it. But when I got out of college and I got into the world, I completely immersed myself in it like a foreign language. See, I believe in immersion. Here's what immersion is. In a subject where in something you're not familiar, you jump in the deep end and you learn how to swim. You don't slow roll. That's why confident, intelligent, and assertive. It allows you to immerse. Competitive, intriguing, aggressive, second level, allows you to immerse even deeper. But bold, aggressive, and generous allows you to jump in the deepest end because you are guided by boldness and ambition. This is why you see me at 50 about to move. God damn it, you better get, life is happening out there. Life is happening out there. And like I said in that video, you belong. People are coming from all around the world getting their piece of it. And you live in, especially if you live in an NFL city and you say you want more and you're not working at least 60 hours, you're not out here networking and moving, man, you talking shit. You ain't doing it. So let's get into it. Critical factors for having an executive mindset. Let me do this. I got to use the restroom, take a bathroom break, and I will be right back. I said, all right, let's get started. In order to move up, the first thing you need at the executive mindset level, this is the mover and shaker level. This is the entrepreneur. This is to build a business more than just yourself. To build a business that you can pass on to your son, your family, to build something more than just a lifestyle business, right? To move up, the first and most critical thing is you must be open-minded. I said, if you're not open-minded, you might as well not even, if you're not an open-minded person, you might as well stop right now. Because it is going to be near impossible to move up in an organization or make the kind of connections and network if you're a know-it-all, if you're rigid. I want you to look in companies. If you're a young guy, think about people who when you came into an organization who had been in their spot for 10 years. And the average person was there maybe 3 years or 5 years. But you know, Bob has been here 15 years. He's never moved up. And Bob's just a know-it-all asshole. You gotta be open-minded. All right. If you coming in here asking me anything other than on this topic, you need to put in. Okay. Who's this dude? BT. Chill out, dude. You just spamming the chat. You just spamming the chat, man. You got to be open-minded. Number 2. Let me back up. Open-minded about so many things. And see, that's one thing that, depending on your culture and where you come from, that could be a real problem. Not wanting to try new things. Just, well, it's only, it has to be this way. Open-minded, man. The growth mindset requires leaders to be more inclusive and unique and take perspectives from others. All right? Number 2. Man, you're going to have to get comfortable with ambiguity and uncertainty. You're going to have to get comfortable with the unknown. Understand something? You're going to have to get comfortable with the unknown. See, the more certainty, the more certainty you have, the more certainty you want, the less reward you're going to get. You know who wants security, guarantees? That's not something leaders thrive on. Security and guarantees are not something that we thrive on. We want the ambiguity, the uncertain. We're the adventurers. We're the ones who are going to go out and do what it takes. All right. Hit the like button, folks. Hit the like button. Let me see how many likes do we have in here? We have 87 likes, 194 people watching. And I'm going to open this up too, man. I'm going to get on through this because I think this is critical. You got to get on. This is why so many people don't want to start going to business for themselves. They can't deal with the uncertainty. Where's my dude, Elite Trucking? I thought I saw Elite Trucking in here. See, a lot of people don't want to go into business for themselves. That's why they go punch a clock for somebody else. And there's nothing wrong with that. 80% of the people punch a clock. But I'm trying to deal with the top 20% of men and women. And the top 20%, you're all right with the uncertainty. You're okay with stepping out on yourself. And not only you have to get comfortable with, not only are you going to have to deal with, you're going to get comfortable with it. Trust me, man, as much as I'm talking about moving to Atlanta, there's a part of me that's like, oh shit, I'm about to move to Atlanta. I'm about to move to a city I've never lived in before. I don't know how the city's laid out. I've not driven in Atlanta, but I'm already planning for Atlanta. Like Atlanta is my fucking headquarters. Atlanta is, I'm already looking for, I made the decision to move to Atlanta, what? 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and you hear I'm talking about it like I'm already in the place and connected. Like I got an entire Rolodex full of connections because that's how I attack something. And that's what I've learned from this executive mindset. Shout out to Alpha Male Strategies. He moved from Alabama to New York because he took a chance, he took a risk on himself. And that is why I am so big on men putting themselves first and taking care of yourself. Because if you're a risk taker, if you're an executive, if you're a leader, man, you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. I want to get into some new stuff too, man. Because a lot of times guys ask me about my eyewear and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to do a video about some of my new cops. I got some new stuff I want to show you guys, but let me get through this. If you got a question you want to ask me, put it in super chat. Don't ask me a question and because I'm not going to see it. You got to show strong situational awareness. Having situational awareness is the ability to see around, beneath, and beyond what you seek. I did a broadcast last night talking about live from the storm. We don't turn back. We go through, we go over, but we don't go around. Situational awareness. That's why I was able to pull over last night and not get my car all beat up in hell. The difference between situational is the difference between circular and linear vision. So many people just think linear. Here's the thing. If you weren't taught to think like an executive, if you don't play games of strategy, like Risk, like chess, if you're not immersed in things that make you think outside the box and creative, it's going to be hard for you to be successful as an executive. An executive, I'm talking about director or higher. I'm talking about having a business with more than one location. I'm not talking about being a truck driver. I'm talking about owning a fleet of trucks and running a logistics company. I'm not talking about doing like my business. Most image consultants don't want to do what it takes to actually scale their business. That means the only money they make is one-to-one. They got to work with one client at a time, Nope. I stuck my business in Oklahoma where I knew I was going to be cut off for all access to see how to make a business that was scaled. And here I am on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, learning how to do things from a scarcity standpoint that if I moved into a major market, I would have a lot of that access. Now I can put my business in Atlanta, LA, New York, London, wherever, because I can move this thing. I can work with women. I can work with men. Have you noticed that I'm doing a lot of the stuff that I talk about? And I can also, I don't have to just do one-to-one. That's why I'm also a public speaker. When I speak at colleges and universities, I've already reached out to Morehouse, Spelman, and Clark to speak to the student body on the value of image and imagery. Yep, already reached out. I'm not waiting. When I get to Atlanta, I want to get the ground running. I want to have shit going already. Boom, 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 boom. With my, not just my business, but anyway, that's how you do it. That's how I do it. Next, you have to have a greater sense of preparedness. Most organizations aren't prepared for transformation. I'm just talking about that. Most people are just content to do what they do. But what happens when opportunity comes? Are you ready to take advantage of the opportunity? See, I'm always preparing to take steps because I'm always pushing. A lot of people spend a lot of time worrying about problems, but they fail to anticipate the unexpected. What happens if I go to Atlanta and it completely falls apart? What happens if I go there and none of this stuff materializes? I still have operations here. Think about how you're doing any of this stuff. See, thinking like an executive means you have to be able to scale yourself. How many people are on their own business? If you own your own business, but you're the only employee, understand something. Sick time, downtime, outage, all that affects your business. How many different revenue streams do you have coming in? From how many, or do you have to do everything? Have clarity on what others expect from your leadership. When you are a manager or when you're an executive, you need to understand what others expect from you. That's above you and below you. You need to understand what the people who work to make you successful expect from you. And you need to know what the people above you who you work to make successful need from you. See, Jay-Z, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Jay-Z has told everybody, Dame Dash, Meek Mill, Kanye, Colin Kaepernick, I have no problem with what Jay-Z did with the NFL because he did business. And everything I've heard about it is emotional. He sold out the race. Better go watch Godfather, Michael Corleone. Next, you got to take ownership of it all. Taking ownership is the difference between being and remaining relevant or allowing the marketplace to pass you by. Think about some of the YouTube channels that you used to watch that were hot, and now you don't watch them anymore. They allowed the marketplace to pass them by. They stayed stagnant. They didn't continue to develop. They were good where they are. Ask yourself, this is what so many guys. You get content and you let the market pass you by. You content in the same city, the same job, the same place, and this is the tortoise and the hare. That's why I say you gotta get in that 60 hours minimum, and you gotta run. You sleep after you die. All right, guys. Y'all want me to continue doing this? I'm gonna need 5 people to put something up in the super chat, man. 5 people to put something up in the super chat. We got 200 people watching, and now 1 person's donated on the stream. Come on now. I know ain't nobody else talking about this. Ain't nobody else teaching this. And I'm not teaching it for my health. Come on now. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're not a member of the channel, you want to go ahead and hit the join button. There we go, Sean. I want to see some new faces in there, man. We got 220 people. Oh, and this is the part where I expect people to start dropping too, because you go to college and they ain't teaching you this. Appreciate it. Hit technique, high technique. 3 more. Come on, folks. Talk that shit, Kevin. Hey, Duke, I said it. You want that question answered? Put it in super chat. I don't give free advice. I don't give freestyle advice. It's not something that's something I need to talk about too, guys. You guys ask, oftentimes people ask me about where'd you get this, where'd you get that? If I put a link down in the description that's to a product, then I'm directing. But if you're asking me, that stuff, I charge for that. I charge for that. Simple as that. And that's something else we need to talk about too. We're going to talk about, as a business person, knowing your value and knowing what to charge. Hey Kevin, you need to. Hey Kevin, you starting a moving fund? No, I'm not starting a moving fund, but you see a moving fund, man. Now that strikes me as kind of like that hustle thing. I don't need anybody's money to move, but if you want to buy a tank of gas or something, or buy a meal on the way, I'm all for it. I don't know how to put it together to not make it sound like a building fund, though. Thanks. Shout out Patrick Jones. There we go. Appreciate it. See, Sean, you're in here, man. I'm glad Sean is in here. See, we got men in here who are out. We got guys in here who are moving into these worlds, and there's no one to actually teach us these things. Kevin. No one to actually coach us through these things. So number 7 is you have to grow with people. The days of people perceiving leaders having all the answers is gone. Understand something. There are no more oracles out there in business, right? Honestly, a lot of people feel like executives and that kind of stuff are out of touch. So if you want to be an effective executive, if you want to actually be effective when you're moving up through an organization, you need to grow with your people. That's why Take an opportunity inside an organization to find a mentor. And then when you got a couple of years in the business, man, when new people come into an organization, take them under your wing without being told and teach them the ropes. Because people like me or being organizations looking for folks like that, and they be like, okay, we had the junior attorneys come in. And did you see Sean? Sean actually took some of the new hires, some of the new attorneys in, and he's teaching them how to move around the office, how this and how that. And it's like, okay. And who told them to do that? Nobody. Okay. That's leadership. That's initiative. So when we start looking for people to become partners or move on up, that kind of stuff counts. I believe in immersion, jumping into the deep part of the river, because there's going to be somebody out there who's going to see that. Let's say I'm the new person. And then Sean sees me jump into the deep part. He's going to say, oh, that's different. Most new attorneys come in and try to take it easy. But Kevin jumped into the deep part. Well, let me help him and let him shout out Jay Boogie. Shout out, y'all brothers are coming through. Shout out Jay Brown. Shout out, what is this? Tavarius Wiley. Shout out to, oh man, I can't pronounce the name. Cupesci 6. Okay, shout out Jay Boogie. This is something I learned, guys. Jump in the deep end and watch who comes to help you. The people who come to help you are going to be the people who got the information. Jump in the deep end, but then you got to pay that favor back. Shout out somebody up under your arm. And here's the thing, you grow with people. So if you actually have a couple of years in the business, 3 years, and you see some of the new people coming in, you take them under your wing. You can do this at any company you work with. And when it's time to get promoted or moved up or whatever, that gives you those extra bonus points that don't show up on a resume or show up on a tally sheet. But here's the thing, when you get moved into that next position, the person that Sean helped when he was a new associate, he's going to remember that Sean helped him when nobody else would, and he's going to be loyal to Sean. He's going to think highly of Sean. Sean's going to be his OG. And then when he helps somebody, don't you think this person is going to tell the person he helped? So Sean's going to be like he's going to be his OG also. You see how that works? Sean decides to go start his own firm. Who you think is going to want to go with Sean? That's right. That's how this game is played. See, a lot of times when you're in an organization and companies, people go in there and learn everything they can learn, and then they go start their own company and take the talent that they've helped groom and then go after the very same accounts that they sold while they were there and keep a larger share. That is standard business. See, that's why I say you got to take feelings out of it. When you work for AT&T or MCI or something like that, you have a certain parameters that you can sell in. But if you actually go out and start your own telecom or your own marketing firm, you buy from AT&T on a contractual basis, and you can buy it at a cheaper price point that you could ever sell for when you belong to AT&T, because AT&T doesn't have to pay your salary, your benefits, your insurance, your computer, no, your car, anything else. They can sell to you cheaper. Then you take that very same thing and go sell to the very clients you had while you were at AT&T, and instead of getting 5% of the contract value, you can get 90%. So let's just run the math. Let's say you had a $100,000 client, a $100,000 a year client. You sold them while you was at AT&T. You might get $5,000 in commission. And AT&T gets the other 95 because they got to pay your manager, customer service, support, But let's say you go start your own company and you go sell that same client $100,000. You keep $95,000 of it. That's how a lot of people become millionaires in the mid-market. This was a big thing in telecom. It happens in insurance. It happens real estate. It happens in advertising all the time. It happens in accounting. It happens in law. Shout out Marvin McKenzie as a new McKenzie as a new member. Shout out Mike Opie. It always it happens in accounting. So let's say you go to school in accounting and then you go work for one of the big 6 firms. You could do that. Or would it make more sense to go work for a smaller firm and go work like an Egyptian slave, but learn everything, get experience in everything, including systems, and then go start your own firm? I have frat brothers that did that, and the millionaire to this day. All right. Seek to eliminate, next up is seek to eliminate mediocrity and complacency. That's why we have CIA second level, competitive, intriguing, and aggressive. This is a requirement to be at the executive level. In order to eliminate mediocrity and complacency, you got to remain competitive. You got to remain aggressive. Therefore, it is everything in your life has to be second to you and your purpose. The women you deal with, they got to understand you're cheating on your purpose with them. Your wife, your kids, they got to understand the purpose comes first. And if you got to move, if you come and tell your woman, your wife, hey, honey, we're living in Boston right now. We're moving to Seattle. Your wife's response needs to be, you need to be with a woman who's going to be like, okay, whatever she's doing for her career, she can do it there, if she's working at all. Because you have to be able to take advantage of opportunity and this is where the whole thing about keeping yourself out there unsure and vague, keeping yourself out there competitive, because you don't want to get roots. I fought so hard in my life to not drop deep roots. And I came along in a time where people came out of college and first thing they did was got married and bought a home. And I was like, oh, no. I don't want to be tied down like that. And everybody told me I was nuts. Oh, man, you need to buy a house and do this. Guess what? Now the world has caught up with me. I got friends right now that I'm telling, hey, man, if you leave, you get single, no kids, man, why are you living here? Get out of here, move. Understand something. Moving does more to knock off the dust and rust than anything else. Inside of an organization, this is an inside organization but you need to break down silos. And silos mean this. Silos are just echo chambers. Some people think it should be done this way. Some people think it should be done that way. Think about it in church. Think about an organization. You got some people who think old school. Some people, what you need to do is you need to make sure that your people are always moving. Like what a lot of companies have done is they've gone to an open air work environment. They've gone from offices to cubes. Then they've gone from offices where people could close themselves in. They've taken the office away and they've taken the cubes and put it down here to where people have to kind of move through. You want airflow and you want people to be moving around. As an executive, you need to always be moving around too. You do not want to be the executive or the boss or the business owner that goes into his office and closes the door. You need to be like King Henry XIV and become the center, the Sun King. The chapter, it's in 48 Laws of Power. He made sure he was the center of his royal court and everything revolved around him. That's what you need to be in your life. So Billy Boy 37, imagine if you became the center of your life to where you're networking and everybody you work with, they revolved around you, your wife, your kids. All of it needs to revolve around you instead of you revolving around it. That means you become of primary importance to everybody you deal with, and as well should be because you're the leader. You need to have a strong executive presence. Here comes the sales pitch. You ready? This is why you need somebody like me. That's why you need somebody like me. This is why executives, celebrities, entertainers have somebody like me on payroll. I'm Hitch. I'm the hitch of my business. This is what I'm doing right now. A lot of image consultants cannot be corporate image consultants or personal. I'm one of the very few people who do both at the master level. And I teach. I'm like Hitch in this piece. I help create a strong executive presence. I got a guy right now in Detroit. I'm working with him, and I'm going to make him an executive. He's going to be a partner through my creation. I'm going to craft his presence. It's going to be for him to do the work, but I'm going to craft their presence. A strong executive presence means you have to have your image on point. What do we know about image, kids? What do you know about images? 4 parts, guys. A, B, C, D. Your appearance. Your appearance has to be on lock. So let's say I was going to become a corporate attorney. The first thing I would have to do is I have to remove this bracelet. I could not do it. It's too bulky to be a corporate attorney. Now, I could keep that one on because what is it? It's Hermes, right? I could keep that on. I keep the tie clip on. I might have to get rid of this pocket square. It may be a little too much depending upon if I was doing, if I was doing corporate or tax law. But anyway, the watch is appropriate. The glasses, I would actually thin out. Suit, basic power suit. See how those few changes? And of course, the nose ring would just go in corporate America, period. Executive presence. You have to command attention. You understand that 70+% of the CEOs and our presidents and things like that are over 6 feet tall. That doesn't mean you have to be over 6 feet tall, but you have to have a presence that fills up a room. This is why you do not leave this stuff to your own understanding. Executive presence is not about selling a business or a transaction. It's showcasing knowledge, capabilities, and skill set. Executive presence is about a leader's ability to create a moment, an experience that ignites others to want more, an experience that ignites others to want to know more about them and their business. An executive presence requires self-trust, confidence, self-awareness, and the ability to navigate the needs of people. It's about earning the right of others over time to explore a more meaningful and purposeful business relationship. Simply put, executive presence is not about you, it's about others. I want to take you to a moment when I was at MIT Atlanta. There was a moment where I was at MIT Atlanta. Anybody who's there, they'll know what I'm talking about. There was a time in the presentation, in the boardroom presentation, where I had to use my executive presence. I had to touch on a subject that was controversial, sensitive, but very important. But I had earned over time the credibility with everybody in that room to explore this topic. And this one topic was the most meaningful topic in the entire discussion. If I didn't have the executive presence, they would have shut down immediately. I risked everything if I did not have the credibility. Executive presence, leadership presence is something you develop and carry with you in and outside of an organization. That is why image is so important for leaders. You are never not the leader of your organization. Whether you're at the gym or whether you're on the way to Whole Foods, you're never not the leader. And if someone sees you in transition, think about it. If you were a partner at a law firm, Haynes, Boone, Thompson, and Jackson, and you're Jackson, and everyone saw you during the day, hey, how you doing? But then they saw you drunk at a club. Hey, at the strip club. Hey, what's up, bitch? Hey. Your executive presence will be destroyed. Image is so important here. Image is so important. Executive presence. Speaking of executive presence, everything you do, like look at me in my business. Let me put it to me. My business, my executive presence comes down to personal branding. Personal brand is the one word people say about you when you leave the room. It's descriptive. My personal brand is stylish. What does stylish look like? What does it talk like, walk like? Where does it eat? Who does it hang out with? And I'm stylish because I'm stylish for one reason. I want to be impressive. The thing you have to ask yourself is Kevin Samuels stylish? Whether or not you like my style is irrelevant. Is he stylish? I think most people would have to say yes. Is Kevin Samuels impressive? Whether or not you like the impression I leave is irrelevant. I think most people would say yes. And to that effect, I think about everything from a personal brand standpoint and a business standpoint. Like this right here, this is a lens cleaning cloth. Yep, a lens cleaning cloth. Now, why would I have a lens cleaning cloth like this versus just a little pocket versus the little throwaway ones that you get for a package, you know, $3 for a pack of 15 of them? Why? Because I have these in different styles. Why? Because this is artwork. It's impressive. You want to see the other ones? Hold on. I'll go get the other ones. Just a second. I want to show you what I mean. Sorry about that. I don't mind doing longer live streams when we're teaching about business. Each and every one of these can do something different. I can wear this. If I wanted to. As a pocket square. Impressive, right? Dual purpose. And then it comes out and I'm talking to somebody and I'm at a killer part in the deal and I pull this out. When you're in a hard part negotiation and you want to intimidate somebody, they're like, what, this motherfucker got some skull and crossbones? All of a sudden you go from being that goofy little nerd looking guy, who is this corny ass dude in the suit? Like, this motherfucker got a pocket square with skull and crossbones on it. This dude is crazy. Gotcha, bitch. Pattern interrupt. That's called a pattern interrupt. That's an NLP technique. That's one. Let me show you some of the other ones. Now, here's another one. Nice little, some color in it. My Native American, Seminole Nation, that's me. Let's see, another one. I gotta organize all this stuff later, but oh, I love this one. Again, all these can function as pocket squares too. The Warring Pawnee. Have your little warrior Pawnee in there. Throw a little color in there. Boop. Everything has a purpose, gentlemen. Everything has a purpose. Everything has purpose. Nothing is just bought just because. If you're dealing with people from Europe, it has the green on the other side. All right. I like that stuff. Now, there are multiple ways to have a pocket square. I've chosen those because they fit my style personality. Something as simple as fragrance. Tom Ford Neroli Portofino Forte, an impressive, clean fragrance for business daytime. Tom Ford Oud Wood, an impressive business fragrance for any guy. La Lobo Rose 31. I love roses. Bergamot 22. Great springtime summer fragrance. Great clean summer fragrance. And of course, the OG Santal 33. Why am I showing all this stuff, guys? Because my personal brand is stylish. I need to be able to set myself apart, be something familiar with something different and apart from the rest. As far as footwear, Paul Evans, a nice oxblood Chelsea boot. Great, to where you don't always wear black, right? And how many people are familiar with the brand Dunhill? Dunhill. Let's do a little unboxing. Dunhill. Let's get ill with it. I'm not gonna go over the top with it, but Dunhill. Dunhill makes a nice cigar. But Dunhill of London make some great men's appointments. But look at that joker right there. Blue suede boot with gold appointment. Yeah, baby. See, when it was time to put my image together, I even reached out to a fellow image consultant, a fellow client. I mean, not a client, a colleague. Look on my YouTube channel, and you'll see how my image has changed over the last several years to where I was too close to it. So I actually paid someone to do what I do for you. It's not because I'm not good at it, it's because I was smart enough to know one thing. I hire professionals and let professionals do their job because my presence mattered. The next two, as an executive, you need to stand for some sort of inclusion, but you need to promote individuality. Why is that important? Look here, man. Like it or not, you got to think about PR and public perception. You want to be as inclusive as possible while promoting individuality. You may have your personal lines that you draw, but your personal lines and your business lines do not necessarily have to sync up. You just don't, everybody has to make their own decisions and say, you know what? Can you sleep at night doing what you need to do? Like I said, show me where your feelings enter into the process, and I'll show you where you start to put a limit. Inclusion simply starts at the beginning, open-minded. Open-minded. You have to be open-minded while promoting individuality. Hey, man, you're going to deal with all kinds of people in this world. You're going to deal with people who may share your beliefs, some people who may not. You may be liberal. They may be conservative. You may be Christian. They may be Hindu or Muslim or whatever. Can you actually work and be inclusive with somebody, or is it just my way or the highway, my tribe, only me? Understand something. The more inclusive you are, the more opportunities you present. Again, I'm bread. I don't care if you're peanut butter. I don't care if you're jelly. Peanut butter and jelly make a great sandwich, but I can make a peanut butter or jelly sandwich. And the last one. How many guys want to be the bag? How many guys want to be the bag? The 3 levels of CIA. First level, confident, intelligent, and assertive. Okay. Second level, this is your black belt stuff. Competitive, intriguing, and aggressive. All right. That's top 20. That's top 30%. I'll say the top 30% of men. 30% on up want to be competitive, intriguing, and aggressive. But to be in that top 20%, really that top 10%. Let me take that back. To be black belt level is top 20% and above. That's just the truth. Top 20%, competitive, intriguing, and aggressive. That's 20% and above. But if you want to be the bag, the one that all the women talking about, secure the bag. If you want to be the bag, you know what I define the bag is bold, ambitious, and generous. If you want to be the bag, you must do one thing above all else. Who wants to be the bag? I need you to show your hand if you want to be a bag. Put the bag in and put in type bag. B-A-G. I need to see you type bag. B-A-G. Come on, give me the B-A-G if you want to be the bag. Somebody type the 1. Mario says he want to be the bag. Alkaline want to be the bag. Marvin want to be the bag. Okay, we got some bag up in here. We got bag men. Bag, B-A-G. B-A-G. I got guys that want to be in the top 10%. Top 10%. In order to be the bag, you must want significance more than success. You must want significance more than success. This is why so many of my colleagues who are image consultants could not understand why I made the turn from working with people there was a point in life. There's a line in image consulting. Most image consultants want to work with people who are making $250,000 or more because they don't want to have to teach anybody. They want people that already have the money and know they need an image consultant. And they just want to compete for the people who are in that position. I had a lot of colleagues that were like, why are you going to YouTube and Instagram and to compete with these people who don't know what this is? And even, you know, in the Association of Image Consultants International, like, what? Why are you? I wanted to live a life. I wanted to be significant. So I made a turn towards the middle market, especially when BGS reached out and asked me to do that video about Lawrence. And I said, you know what? Instead of competing with people who make $250,000 or more, why not try to do it with guys who are making $75,000 or more, expand the market, but I'm going to have to teach this market segment. I have to do something that a lot of people up there don't want to do or can't do. And it's taken me the better part of 2 years, but it's catching on now. And to me, that's making me significant because I'm in an area that never existed before. We created it. We are creating a movement. Suit Saturday, CIA, FBI, MIT, all these things. We're creating this together. We're doing it together. We are doing this. MIT Atlanta was fucking incredible for so many levels. I've gotten some of the most heartfelt emails from men saying it's great to see men chopping it up, looking like they're handling business. And we're just beginning. You must want significance more than success. And see, that's one of the biggest things. Why do you want to be successful? Why do you want to be in the top 10? And it has to be more than just money. It has to be more than just money or poon or possessions or house, cars. It has to be more than that because your purpose is the passion that fuels you. And in order to do what you need to do, it's almost like, imagine this, staring into the abyss, eating a bowl of glass. Elon Musk said that. It's crazy. But if you've ever been in love before or heard anybody talk about being in love, and you've heard some of the crazy stuff people do when they're in love, you have to be in love with the significance piece. That's what it comes down to. You got to want to strive for significance. Leaders do not desire to be significant primarily for recognition. Leaders desire to be significant for respect. Recognized leaders appeal to the head. Recognized leaders appeal to the head. Recognized leaders appeal to the head where things are easily forgotten. Recognized leaders captivate the heart, and the heart doesn't forget. Let me say that again. You don't want to strive for recognition. You want to strive for respect. You don't want to strive to capture somebody's head. You want to strive to capture the heart. The heart doesn't forget. Leaders with a growth mindset desire to be significant because they want the growth that they create to take care of the organization, places, and people where things have never been done before. They want their growth to help people and organizations evolve. I can say one thing for certain. The guys I work with, the people I work with, are evolving, growing into places where they've never been growing before. And they're going to go out and do things and make change. We're all doing this together. That's why I say, I may be the CIA, FBI, my channel part of, but we're doing this. We're all doing this. And you watch this over the next year, 2 years. You're going to watch and see what happens when you start to see men reclaim their image and go on to each one teach one, reach back, and all over, you're going to start seeing people make it significant. You're going to start seeing women do the same thing. You've seen women come on my channel who you have not heard from before, and I have women who come on who are feminine, beautiful, inspirational, understand exactly where I get down, know exactly how I think, and they're like, yeah, I want to be involved in that. I want to be involved. I want to be around men like that. We become the change we're seeking. So I hope this was beneficial to you guys. Hope this was eye-opening. I said it on my Instagram. I'm going to be talking more about business. I'm going to be bringing other people on to talk about business, finance, sales, marketing, advertising, all the things that go on in corporate America. And I need your help. I don't want to always be the front person. I need to reach out to Erica Williams because I know she's deep into some of this too. I believe in collaboration. Again, I'm bread. I want to work with peanut butter. I want to work with jelly. I want to work with bologna. I want to work with ham, turkey, salami, cheese, mustard, mayonnaise, pickles, lettuce, tomato, butter, whatever. I'm bread. Because at the end of the day, I want to have a buffet full of options for people, and then you get in where you fit in. You get in where you fit in. Let me make a couple of quick announcements before I open this thing up. If you're interested in booking your one-on-one virtual consultation with me, this is the final week of the Summer of Success sale. The final week of the Summer of Success sale. Here is where you book it. It's in the chat room. Book your one-on-one virtual consultation now. I'm a Cornell MBA with a successful career. You're spot on. Appreciate it, my friend. Cornell MBA. We need to talk, man. We need to talk. I am currently building my network. If you live in the Atlanta area, and you would like to network with me, please send me an email at info@bykevinsamuels.com. If you live in the greater Atlanta area or within driving distance and you want to network, because I will be doing things differently. I'll be using Facebook more. I may be rolling and sit back and end up at Grand Lux, and I'm gonna say, Godfather at Grand Lux, come meet me for a drink, checking in. And then we'll just go live, and I'll be like, hey guys, live from life out here at the local spot. And I just ran up on this guy here, he's an MBA from Cornell, and we're just sitting there talking it up, chopping up. Ooh, just met this beautiful young FBI. She's certified FBI. Look, man, this next 3 months is going to be as impactful as we choose to make it. 3 months minimum in Atlanta, could be 6 months. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. And if I don't like it, you know what? Maybe I'll go to LA next. What are you doing? How are you taking your talents? How are you taking you and expanding it? Why are you in the city you're in right now? I'm going to make a video about moving to Atlanta. It ought to be pretty interesting. But look, man, we get there together. We all got something we can do, help each other. If you're in it, like I said, in Atlanta, if you're a model, hit me up. If you're in music, entertainment, hit me up. If you're a filmmaker, if you're a playwright, I would love for someone to be able to sit down and let's talk about how to make a short film to make male media. I would love to get involved in some of these projects. I want to work. I want to build. Yup, let's do it. Houston. Yes, sir. People have already asked about Houston. So, but case in point, remember, if you want to book your one-on-one, it's on sale for 1 more week and then it goes back to the regular price. If you just want to chop it up with me, if you just want to get my advice on something, you just want to be in my ear for 15 minutes, 30 minutes or an hour, you can help the advice line. There you go. Go in and just check what you need to check. Boom, boom. If you got a question you want to ask me, hey man, where you get those glasses? What's a great fragrance for this time of year? Hit me up. My website is the place to get everything. Oh, let me also mention this. If you are an excellent website developer, I am actually looking to upgrade my website. I want my website to become the flagship of my business. I have a functioning website, but I want it to become the flagship of all things. So instead of having to put all these links all the time, I just say, go to my website at bykevinsanders.com and select. If you are a premier website developer to where you can act, because like I said, I'm in the process of writing my first book. Coming up in the fall, I have speaking to do. I'll be very busy. So the more stuff I can outsource, the better. If you're a photographer or videographer in Atlanta, man, I certainly need to talk to you because I am going to need someone that can take pictures of me and film me around town versus me having to do. I have a lot of the equipment too. Let's work. Let's talk. Let's do it. Any questions? I'll take the next 10 minutes for questions and I'll get up out of here. Ran a little bit long. Next 10 minutes for questions and I'm out. I moved from Oregon, Kentucky. Now you move. Okay. Oregon, Kentucky. Now you're moving to Houston. That's what's up. Are you going to bring what? An expert for MIT or FBI? I don't understand what you're asking. Are Suit Supply suits good quality? Yes. This suit is from Suit Supply. I recommend Suit Supply suits for guys 18 to 25. Also, I recommend Suit Supply suits for men of all ages who do not need to wear a suit for a career. However, if you need to wear suits for a career, I suggest custom because custom suits feel like pajamas. And the hours you're going to put in while you're working, you want a garment that works with your body. And there's nothing like a custom suit. to like the black suit I had, the white suit. I'm getting some other ones made, but I tend to often wear Suit Supply suits because I try to get guys to understand. But Suit Supply is mid-market as far as I'm concerned. But now, like I said on the channel, I'm going to be talking about mid, upper, and luxury. Not going to go too far into the luxury market because it can get crazy. I'm not going to talk about a $150,000 watch. Come on, man. Who can? That's not, no. Somebody says need assistance. You need assistance? Book your service. Hey, Kevin, how important is smiling when it comes to the ladies? It is everything. I was at my favorite pizza place yesterday, and I sat there and watched this brother up there with this other woman, and she was sitting up there, and I just watched and how this woman kept touching him and laughing and smiling and putting her arm around him. And just, man, you could, ladies, go check out how women flirt and learn how to smile and flirt with men, because when you learn how to smile and flirt with guys the right way, guys are putty in your hands. You can get all your suits, you can get all your garments tailored. That's one thing, but getting a suit that's made directly for you is completely different, especially when you're picking the lining and everything else. 3-day suit, pretty, broke, good. I don't know what that means. Three-day suit broker for interview. I don't understand. Would I suggest a speaking coach? Yes. Depending upon what depending upon what you'll be doing, but I learned how to effectively speak in public, and that made the difference in so many things. I recommend coaching. You cannot be in the top 20% effectively without coaching. Let me say that again. You cannot be in the top 20% effectively without coaching. You can be there, but to be as effective as you need to be, you need a coach. Definitely in the top. To be in the top 10%, coaching is mandatory. Okay. I'm gonna also say this, guys. What your take on human resources as a degree and federal work as a career? Working my way through no. Well, human resources is dominated by women. Federal work as a career, it's not as stable as it once was. I'm really, but I wouldn't, because it's not so much in your hands. Human resources, like I said, first it's a female-dominated profession, and in federal work, depends a lot upon how the government's doing, and we're about to go through a recession. I recommend multiple streams of income. You know, whatever your career is, I suggest you better drive Uber on the side, flip stuff on eBay, learn how to do something after hours. You can't just survive on one income. Clothing and shoes for tall, athletically built brothers. Do you recommend a store like DXL? No. Look, man, you can't buy cheap shit. That's just where I'm gonna start being, guys. You can't buy cheap shit. You can't be going to DXL and stuff like that. If you're 6'5", 240 pounds, the most important thing for everybody is your footwear. You can't buy cheap shoes. You got to be looking at shoes that are $400 a pair minimum. Minimum. McNanny is the mid-level. McNanny and Paul Evans are the mid-range brands I suggest for every man. McNanny, Paul Evans, and Allen Edmonds. You're 6'5", 240, cheap shoes, shoot yourself. Do not go by Aldo, John Murphy, whatever. I don't care what you got to do. I don't care about here's another thing. It's not the stuff costs too much. You just don't make enough money to afford it. That's also what I want to talk about. At the end, after I answer these questions, I don't worry about price. I worry about value. And especially as a bigger man, you have to have quality. And it is better. And if you're tall and athletically built, nothing in this world in a store is
Shout
made
out
for
to the
your
CIA.
body. It's made for guys who are 5'10" and 175 pounds. Yes, improv class, improve communications and thinking on your feet. Yeah. And honestly, that's the biggest reason guys have fear of approaching women, because you're not really quick on your feet. Amazon carries goods. No. You like Johnson Murphy? Yeah, it sucks. Johnson Murphy sucks. Look, man, any shoe that's $150 or less is hamburger versus steak. Look, I've already said this. I could tell you something that's not going to help you, but when you learn the difference between how structurally a shoe feels that's quality versus a shoe that's not, go put a $150 shoe on, then go put a shoe on from Christian Louboutin or Saint Laurent or Meslin or McNanny or Paul Evans or Allen Edmonds or Tom. Go put a quality shoe on and you'll understand the difference. And you spend so much time on your feet. See, let's talk about money. Let's talk about money. One, most guys don't make enough money. And I'm gonna tell you why you don't make enough money, because you're not working enough. If you know for a fact you don't make enough money to live life, if you're living from paycheck to paycheck, if you got less than $5,000 in the bank, if you don't have enough money stacked up for 6 months, if something happens and you're going to be out on the street in 90 days, you're not making enough money. And the first thing I'm going to ask you is how many hours a week you're working. If you're working 40 hours a week, that's your problem. You can have a job making $15 an hour at the convenience store, and that's $30,000 a year. You could have another part-time job at another convenience store. That's another $15,000. That's $45,000 a year. You could be making that at 18 years old. So if you made $45,000 a year from 18 years old to 30, and you lived at about a budget of, and you lived a life at about $15,000 a year, that means you'd have an additional $15,000 after taxes and investments to still play with. That means over 10 years, that's $150,000 stacked. That's after savings and investments and everything else. Another thing, if you're in business for yourself, let's talk about this. You need to understand what the market charges and charge the market. Master image consultants, master corporate image consultants, and master image consultants. In my business, I know people that charge $3,000 an hour. A virtual consultation with me is $799. It's still on sale right now. I'm doing a sale just for the month of August. It's $599. But I guarantee you this, in 1 hour, you'll learn your style, personality, and the basis of a classic men's wardrobe that fits your style, personality. When I do a men's makeover level 1, that's about 12 to 15 hours of my time constructing your wardrobe from A to Z, where you get about 15 different outfits. That's $5,500. See, the thing is, I know some people look at them and like, ooh, it's not expensive. It's just you don't make enough to afford my service. And that's the difference. You got to understand, when we were a lot of times we were taught that to do just the minimum to get by. And if you want to be in the top 20%, you got to put in the work. 60 hours is a minimum. My ideal client is a man who's 35 years old, single, and making $80,000 a year. That's the ideal, because he has to be able to afford my services and to be able to go buy whatever he needs. Now, if you want to live life at $50,000 a year or less, knock yourself out. I'm not going to, and here's the thing, I don't shit on people like that. But you can't expect to drive a Mercedes and eat lobster and travel and all. You got to look at what you want. See, understand something. In the top 10%, you're talking about $75,000 a year. So you could be making $7.5 million a year. That's a big swing. People always talk about six figures. They want to be making six figures. People will talk about six figures in the 80s. But understand something. Six figures in the 80s, $100,000 a year in 1985. If we adjusted that, it'll be $225,000, $250,000 today. You can make $150,000 a year in the Bay Area and be broke. So this is what I mean. We got to push. And big part of that is working, getting yourself around people that think like we just talked about, and understanding the possibilities. So many people are first generation business owners, college or whatever. So everything in your life or your existence has been people just having jobs. And that's not an insult. It's all this stuff is over here. You're going to have to push yourself out there. And especially if you chose to go into a career like law, medicine, sales, gotta look the part. You still rock your wallabies. How old are you? You got to keep it Brooklyn. Okay. How old are you? Medicine too. It just depends on what you do in medicine. I have several clients who are physicians. We just get their scrubs tailored. Yeah. See, no, they get their scrubs. Their scrubs are different. The footwear is different, but then the casual game outside of medicine is on point, because especially depending on what you want to do in medicine. Okay, I'm gonna just be honest. J.E. Brown, you're 35 talking about rocking wallabies. Unless your style personality has been authenticated as hip hop street, and that tends to make you in the industry, that means you work in entertainment or something like that. 35 years old, walk around in wallabies, makes you dress. You're looking like a young kid. And see, that's another thing. I got a video coming up, dressing your age. A lot of men dress far too young, and you want to be taken seriously. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know you, Mr. Brown, so JB Brown, so I'm not going to make it. But it's difficult for people to take a man seriously when he's dressed youthfully. It's just not. People don't look at somebody who's almost 40 when he's dressed like a teenager and put him into the category of somebody with gravitas. And that's not keeping it Brooklyn. That's keeping it juvenile. See, he just said something I want you guys to focus on. Comfort. Super comfortable shoe. I can almost guarantee you raised by mama, because we associate grown men stuff with lack of comfort. We call them church shoes or hard bottom shoes. And more often than not, you weren't raised with the father who actually taught you classic men's fashion and actually put you in quality. So this is the kind of stuff you have to teach yourself. And you have to, well, here's honestly what you got to stop doing. You got to stop taking so much pride in dressing like a teenager, calling it Brooklyn. Jay-Z's from Brooklyn. He doesn't walk around in Wallabies. I know what they are. See, we've turned around and made some of this stuff, like it's yeah, I keep it Brooklyn. Okay. See, hard bottoms. All right. This whole thing was about the executive mindset. And I'm going to be making distinctions between guys because look, man, everybody ain't doing the same thing, and that's cool. You don't have to. But I mean, just be honest. It is going to be, the average guy who's going to be out there doing the stuff we talked about is going to always put himself in a position to dominate guy over here. The places I go, the things I do, the kind of stuff I talk about, I don't see people dressed in Timberlands and Wallabies and all that other kind of stuff. You look massively out of place. So you limit yourself by, use the word appropriately, our ignorance. And see, what we have to stop doing is we have to stop making ignorance a virtue because we did not learn about it. We did not know about it. Didn't have a father to teach us about it. We have to stop making the things we did not know a virtue. Just like money. We did not learn about money in high school. A lot of us did not learn about how money works. Depending upon your community, it can be even more exacerbating. But we cannot continue to make that a virtue and say we're keeping it something other than what it is, ignorant and uninformed. And people who are ignorant and uninformed are right to be taken advantage of by somebody who knows. See, you can't be upset when you talk about somebody gentrifying the hood or turning Brooklyn into what it is today when you have people who lived there the entire time. And the only reason the people did not do it is because they did not know any better and did not choose to go learn how to do it. But when you saw folks coming in and doing it, that should have been the key. We got to stop this, man. We got to stop this because I'll say this, like I told brothers at MIT, women in general, sisters in particular, are outpacing men. You got sisters out here going into local politics, state politics, federal politics. They're out here getting it. And one of the biggest things I hear from women is, I can't find a man on my level. And it does not mean, and what she's saying is, I can't find a man who wants to take off the Timberlands and the Jordans and the jerseys and all the other stuff from high school and college and want to act like, a man in his mid-30s. A guy who wants to go grow up. We got a lot of guys walking around like Peter Pan, the boy who never grew up, and making it sound like it's cool. But then when you see those women out there and you can't holler at them, you can't sit around and call them a snob or a bougie bitch or anything else because she can't go to see Hamilton with you because you don't even own a sports coat. Or if every time she wants to go somewhere, she has to go show you how to do it. You should never be in a position where your woman or the woman you're dealing with has to take you shopping as, oh, let me go ahead and just get to the fucking chase. Look here, man. The nerve of you. If you have a woman in your mid-30s that has to take your grown ass as a man out shopping to put you in some grown damn man clothes so you can go somewhere, you need to be ashamed of yourself. You should not be with a woman who has to teach you anything. You should be teaching your woman something. I dress the women I'm with. I tell you right now, I've never had a woman have to come tell me shit about this. I'd be all kind of embarrassed if my woman had to tie my tie. Had to tell me how to pick out a suit, how to pick out a tie, how to pick out anything. Man, please. That's delinquent. That's delinquent in your manhood. Females of quality are done looking for thuggish aspect. You damn right about that. Okay, well, see, here's the thing. I'm gonna just be real. For everybody who says they need to contact me or work with me, all for it. But what you don't need to do is send me an email and say, hey man, I appreciate what you're doing, and one day I'm a book. Just book. Pay for it and then go sell some plasma. Do what you gotta do. Because like I said, there are no other image consultants on YouTube. And most people don't want to do this stuff. And right now I'm doing it. But who's to say I'll be doing it forever? So take advantage. Bowtie fragrance guy. Yeah, you got to be able to have quality conversation, man. I tell you. See, let me just go ahead and be honest. The guys who are going to be CIA, it's going to be so unfair. These are the guys you're going to hate to see them when they come in the spot because they're going to take up all their oxygen. They're going to come in and just by sheer force of their presence, the women are going to gravitate to them because they're going to look confident, intelligent, and assertive. They're going to look the part. They're going to smell the part. They're going to act the part. They're going to be the part. And if you're not that, you're not going to be able to compete. You're going to get what they don't want. Let me say that again. You're going to get a chance to pick from what they don't want. When guys like that are in the place, you're going to have a choice to make. Either stand around and get the leftovers of what they don't want or go somewhere they are not because you cannot compete with them. And that's fine. Your choice as a man is to get your chips up, your chips meaning you, get you up and learn how to compete with these guys or get off the court. It's like you on a basketball court and you playing ball. And then you got real ballers that come to the court. Just because you got to the court first or the court is in your neighborhood, if they're running and you lose, they get to play until they lose. You can't say, oh man, this is our court, man, and such and so forth. Hey man, they beat you. Fair and square. Sit your non-playing ass down. I lost many a day playing ball because I got zero fucking skills at basketball. Your godfather is trash on the basketball court. Beyond trash. Hyper-nuclear fucking rotted trash. You want to lose? Pick me. Hear me? You want to lose a basketball game? Pick my tall, worthless ass. Put me on your team. I guarantee you will lose. But see, I know my goddamn self too. So I don't get out there and try to go in there with the matching shit and try to run the court because I know I ain't. I mean, I'll get you some rebounds. I'm going to block some shots. Don't give me the goddamn ball or dribble. I'll dunk and I'll get a layup. A jump shot, man, get out of my face with that bullshit. No. Yeah. Put me in the boxing ring or put me in the octagon. I got something for your ass. But put me on a basketball court? No, sir. No. That's right. Stay in your lane. Man, please. I wish I would get on a basketball court and embarrass myself. No, sir. I got too much pride for that. throw that jump shot up and that shit go like way the fuck over here. And you be like, you know, you throw that shot up and be like, oh, like pull up on the hamstring because you know your shot is trash. I'll pass. You toss it. You pick me and your ass will lose. And I would tell you, don't pick me, dude. Don't pick me. Don't pick me. Don't pick me. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even be on the court. I'm on there, just out there shooting around because I was bored of some shit. And I see some dudes that can really play. I'm like, all right, well, here come the real basketball players. Let me get my ass on my bike and go over here. You know? And the thing is, it don't fuck me up about it because I know where I'm good at. And dudes be like, oh man, come on, big man. I appreciate No. Big man, yes. That no. Oh man, we need a big man. We need somebody to run with. Fam, no. I'm garbage. See? And why can I sit there and say that in front of dudes? Because I know myself. And ain't no amount of ego or wishful thinking gonna make me fucking Air Jordan. Oh, my hands and feet stay calibrated. Believe that. Matter of fact, I'm going to the gym and do some bag workout right now. And people have asked me, why don't I record that kind of stuff? Because I live more of a public profile. There's some things I don't talk about. I don't talk about my housing. I don't talk about my car. I don't talk about watch collections. Especially watches. I mean, if you know anything about watches, you know how crazy that can be. And it's not necessary for what I do. And as far as martial arts, y'all know about it, but honestly, a lot of my friends didn't even see it. Some stuff I keep really close to the chest. Because I don't ever want to have to use it. Honestly, I don't want to ever have to use it. And I made a video about 2 years ago, where I actually got in a fight because of road rage, and I took it down. I was embarrassed. Having to use your martial arts is the lowest form of martial art. It's a true martial artist really regrets having to use it. So. Yeah, watch prices are bananas, and some people like different watches, and you know. And see, that's something I never really got much into on my channel. You know, these new drop ship watches. Let me be honest. I believe every guy that's black belt CIA. That means the 20% and above. You should own a luxury timepiece at some time in your life, and pass it down to your son, and have a family heirloom. Also, you should have a nice pin. Somebody saw the teddy. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's that time of year. Since he asked about it, this is called a teddy. This is a varsity jacket from Saint Laurent of Paris. I think this is a one piece that fits any style personality. Every guy can wear this at any age. Where's a bootleg Shamar Moore? Is Sean in here? All right, you can put this on with a pair of denim, white t-shirt, and sneakers and look great. You put this on with same thing, some black denim, black turtleneck, and some boots. Look great. Every guy at every age. Every guy, every age. I believe Saint Laurent makes the best one on the market. It's a great piece. What else y'all want to talk about? You like the blue one? Yeah, see, the black and white is iconic. So I have a black one, black and white one, and I have a black one. But there are some things I think that look good for any guy. a teddy, a classic leather jacket, a nice pair of aviators, a sick pair of Chelsea boots, black Chelsea boots, a nice pair of double monk strap, good, nice fitting denim, black and blue, great white t-shirts, a black V-neck cashmere sweater. Some things fit. Yeah, very true. First generation men of wealth are very close to the get by mentality. And see, the thing is, I want to be clear on this. The guys who want to be in the 20% and above, we never shit on the 80%. I do not like guys who shit on the 80%. That's when I get on my Hitch shit. Remember Hitch when he had the scene with Vance Munson? And Vance Munson came into Will Smith's character on Hitch, and he was all about, yeah, man, I want to use your talents to help me bang this young chick, right? And I don't do that. I don't want to get a copyright strike. Let me see if I can play the audio. I ain't gonna risk it. But see, to be in the 20%, notice how the A is assertive, aggressive, and the last letter is generous. Nowhere in there is arrogance, condescension, or ego. Because the 80% is what the 20%, we work for the 80%. The 80%, we work for them. It's servant leadership. And see, those are dudes I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with dudes who think the 80% are there to be fucked over, manipulated, and used. When I find that, I turn down guys who want to work with me. Here's the thing. I don't work with everybody. If you have bad intentions, I won't work with you. If I know you have bad intentions, I won't work with you. Tom Ford makes watches. Yeah, they make watches. It's kind of like an Apple Watch kind of looking thing, but it's cool. Bespoke suits, yeah. Oh, let me say, will you be doing another fall winter fragrance best list? Of course, yeah. If you're gonna be in the top 20%, man, you got to get some professional photos done too. Especially if you call yourself out here online dating. See, I know a lot of you guys online date. You say you don't, but you do. Your LinkedIn game needs to be on together. You did a professional photo shoot. I online date. You know, that's why I say I don't date women over 30. Oh, I'll say it this way. If I do deal with somebody over 30, the first question I ask is, what's the name of your therapist? What's the concept behind owning your own pen? You're at the 20% level, you're an executive. You're a manager. You're an owner. You're going to be signing paychecks, contracts. And when I was a rookie salesperson, I went to sign the largest contract I had ever signed before, a 6-figure contract with a customer to do business. And I pulled out a big pen. A big pen. Customers are spending 6 figures, and I pulled out a big pen. And the guy signed the contract, and he told me, he's like, the reason I'm signing this contract is I like you. But I'm telling you, when you're dealing with money at this level, if I didn't like you, I would have dismissed you. You need a writing instrument, my friend. You're a professional. You need business cards. You need a nice luxury watch, and you need a writing instrument. It's not a pen. It is a part of the package. Okay? A nice luxury pen goes in your pocket here or there. And I would prefer it to be engraved because there's so many pens that look alike. Online dating is hit or miss. Yeah, I just like to, but honestly, if you are quote unquote select, or if you got a dynamite profile and you got some great pictures, it's more hit than miss, bro. Trust your Godfather on this one. Business cards. Just a second. Business cards, cufflinks, luxury watch, a writing instrument. So here are my business cards. They're square. So, and they're black. So automatically my business cards stand out from anybody's. Throw my business card in a fishbowl, I'll win. Put my business card in a stack with other business cards, my business card is higher this way and it's shorter this way. It stands out. My business card is simple, black and white. And I have another side, and I have another set that's white and black. And yes, I do have a red business card. I have a red card. Bop. It's thicker too, a thicker gauge of luxury paper. See, we're going to get to the point, gentlemen, where we're going to be talking about mid-market, high-end, and luxury. And the mid-market starts at McNanny, Paul Evans, Allen Edmonds. You know, it's not going to be pricing anybody out of the market, but there has to be a distinction. Mid-market starts at, you know, how many people have eaten at Outback Steakhouse and like it? How many people have eaten at Outback Steakhouse and like it? And see, there's a difference between Outback Steakhouse, Ruth Chris, and Del Frisco. Okay? Outback is very acceptable mid-market as far as I'm concerned. It's acceptable. It's not the best, but it's acceptable. But it's not Western sizzling. It's not a steak you would get at IHOP. You know, you can go get you a steak for like $20 or so. The Outback special, the sirloin, not bad. The ribeye, not bad. Very acceptable. Outback is going to give you a very acceptable steak, consistent quality across the country. Just like Ruth, but Outback, in places where they have Outback, they don't always have a Ruth Chris. A Ruth Chris tends to be in an NFL type city. And you go to Ruth Chris, the steak is going to be about double the price. But it's still a national chain. Ruth Chris, Lowry's, Houston's, on that same kind of standpoint. You know what? Maybe I'll change Outback. See, I would have said Houston's, but Houston's is not national. It's not nationwide. Houston's location. Maybe I need to change that example. You see, Houston's aren't nationwide enough. And they're in the same kind of thing. Houston's, Ruth Chris, they're all in the same they're part of the Hillstone restaurant group. See? These are the kind of things we want to talk about. Just like Cheesecake Factory and Grand Lux, they're all in the same, they're part of the same restaurant group. Fleming's, Ruth Chris, Morton's, J. Alexander's, Cheesecake Factory, P.F. Chang's, McCormick's, Foco de Chao, Carrabba's, Mangino's, Red Lobster, Longhorn, Steakhouse, Olive Garden, Capitol Grill. You know, they're all of these in the same group. And see, dining can be something that you actually get into. But if you understand that steakhouses, there are different levels of steakhouse. Cigars, there are different levels of cigars. Liquors, there are different levels of liquor. Let's look at scotch. You can have, even with Johnny Walker, you can have Johnny Walker. You can have Johnny Walker Red, Johnny Walker Black, Johnny Walker Blue Label. Different levels. Yeah, you go to Outback if you want to hang out with friends, you know. You're gonna Cheesecake Factory is entry level. Yeah, these are the kind of things you just do. But there are a lot of people who think Outback is luxury. And that's not, and the thing is, if you were to talk about those folks with Ruth Chris or Del Frisco or Bob's Steak and Chop House or something like that, they'd be like, what? And you tell them that you want to go and get a filet there, and the filet is $152. They look at you at $152 for a steak. I can go to Outback and get me a steak for $20. We're talking about levels to this stuff. Cheap liquor can kill your stomach. How do you handle the burn from scotch? I don't drink cheap scotch. I drink single malt. And honestly, if you sip scotch, and this is something you can kind of learn, get a scotch like a Macallan 12, and you'll notice that it's smooth. A Macallan 12 or 15 and 18 or 25, these all taste very different. But then if you go out and get, you know, a cheap scotch, see, when you start talking about cheap scotch, will hurt you. I'm going to Popeye's chicken sandwich. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. See, some people think Red Lobster is fine dining in Oklahoma City. Red Lobster is what we consider seafood here. Even when we went to Papado in Atlanta, Papado was really, really good. But there are levels. And this is what I want guys to start experiencing, because when you start looking at the executive mindset, a lot of stuff gets done over dinners. And the funny thing is, going to different places and trying different things is a big benefit of being in these kind of worlds. Doers, yeah. I haven't had 18. Yeah. Do you consider Swiss made watches? I honestly, man, I'm not a watch connoisseur like that. So I kind of stay in my lane, go to the urban gentry. But as far as I understand, Swiss made watches are Swiss made watches are some of the best from what I understand. I'm more in line with what to think about how shoes are made. So, all right, gentlemen, Olive Garden, that's cool. See, Olive Garden, I don't like Olive Garden because I really love Italian food. And I'll eat Olive Garden's breadsticks. I'll eat Red Lobster's cheddar biscuits. But as far as seafood, mm-mm. Mm-mm. What's in your watch collection? I just talked about that. I don't discuss what's in my watch collection for my own reasons. All right, guys. Yeah, see, somebody said Olive Garden's cool, Olive Garden's trash. See, you start talking about Olive Garden, fam, and I'm like, maybe if you're a teenager, but if you're like over 30, 35 years old, you gotta broaden your horizons, guys. And that's really, let me end it with this. I'm anticipating on my broadcast that I'm generally talking to a 35-year-old man. Unless I say different. There'll be times I'll be talking to younger men. You know, men 30 and under are different than men from 30 to 40. They're different than men the 30, 40 and up. So if I'm talking on a broadcast and you're under 35, your ears should be on. So you can actually learn what's coming down the road. If you're in your 30s, your ears, you should be like, all right, this is what I needed to help me get through this right now. So yeah, man. And every city, every region of the country has different food is different. Like in the South, in Texas Texas is a beef state. Try that, but then the closer you get to fresh, you know, to the ocean, get seafood. Expand your palate, and here's the thing. I'll say this: expand your palate and get out of chain restaurants. Get out of restaurants that, like, if you go to for steak, I prefer to go to places that have one location, maybe two. But like Ruth Chris, you know what you're gonna get. It's the same everywhere. So then when I went to Atlanta, I went to Little Alley. Then there's American Cut. Then there was this other place that I want to try when I go back. So anyway, got to get up out of here. I'm 27, gives me time to reach that. Hey, man, at 27, you know, get that work up, man. Get that work up. All right, gentlemen, I'm long, so peace out. This is going over to Patreon. Peace out.